Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. The entire place was silent. Many pairs of eyes containing various emotions were stunned as they looked at the black figure standing on the head of the statue. A breeze blew and the black robe fluttered. Black hair scattered above the figure's head. It was a simple and ordinary back, but this back seemed to be as mighty and heavy as a mountain in the eyes of those present. Xiao Yang. The eyes of Su Qian and the others were extremely stunned as they paused on the black-clothed figure. A moment later, their originally hopeless hearts once again become excited. Were they going to be saved today? It is really him. Xiao Yu covered her red lips with her hand. Although it had been over a decade since she had last saw him, that familiar back was still something that she was accustomed to. However, this back seemed to be even steadier than it was back then. Senior sister, is that the legendary senior Xiao Yang? He is really powerful. Even old Qian and old Bai was unable to stop that person from earlier. Yet, he had simply killed that person with a single strike. The large crowd suddenly emitted many voices after it was quiet for a moment. All the gazes were filled with a brilliance as they looked at the black-clothed figure. In the hearts of many students in the Jiunan Academy, the person they were most curious about was the various legends of this senior. After all, ever since the Jiunan Academy was founded, there had not been anyone who had reached the extent where the Academy had erected a statue of him. Withdraw. Han Yu's face was filled with shock as he stood in the sky and looked at the figure, who had just appeared. He cried out sternly without any hesitation. Although he had never fought directly against Xiao Yang, he knew that even an expert like Han Mieshing was killed in the latter's hands. Where would he find the courage to fight? He did not think that he was stronger than Han Mieshing. The dozens of Hall of Souls experts in the sky decisively withdrew upon hearing Han Yu's loud cry. Many people once again felt a little stunned as they watched the scene in the sky. The blood of many students began to boil. Their eyes were filled with excitement as they watched the back of the black-clothed figure. This was a truly strong individual. He did not need to attack. Just by showing himself, he could frighten away all experts. Such a style was sufficient to cause the many tender youths to tremble from excitement. Since all of you have come, why do you need to leave in a hurry? The Hall of Soul had been destroyed by me. What is the point for you remnant survivors to continue living? The black-clothed young man on the head of a statue merely smiled as he looked at the experts from the Hall of Soul scattering and fleeing in the sky. He lifted his foot gently and placed it down. Bang, bang, bang. An extremely frightening invisible ripple spread, with a lightning-like speed after Xiao Yang's foot landed. It directly caught up with those fleeing individuals. Soon after, those many black figures in the sky had exploded into clusters of bloody fog without any warning. Regardless of whether it was Dozongs or Dozuns, all of them simply exploded into a bloody fog without any warning. Even their souls had been forcefully blasted apart at that instant. Many pairs of eyes were startled as they watched the blood fog spreading across the sky. This scene was strange yet beautiful. In the eyes of many students, these experts from the Hall of Soul appeared to have suddenly exploded by themselves. During this time, the person on the statue did not even shift his body. This strength. Su Qian exchanged glances with old Qian and old by a short distance. His eyes contained a dense shock. Killing Dozuns like killing chickens. Just how terrifying was this strength? Xiao Yang, you will not be able to protect the. They will definitely perish once my Han clan's army arrives. The only person who had managed to escape from Han Yu. However, he had only managed to pull back some distance after spitting out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were red, as he cried out viciously, after seeing his subordinates being completely eliminated within an instant. Noisy. Xiao Yang frowned slightly. He suddenly clenched his hand from across the empty space. The space above Han Yu's head had a flame surging from it. A large pink fire hand suddenly descended from the sky and smashed onto his body. A terrifying force crushed him until he appeared like a bird, which had lost its wings. He was accompanied by a wisp of black smoke as he fell into the distance. Light figures suddenly flashed in the direction where Han Yu had turned into a black smoke and fled towards. Immediately, a couple of figures hurriedly rushed over. There is actually more reinforcements. Su Qian and the others were startled after seeing those figures. A couple of figures swiftly appeared in the air above the academy, in front of the cautious eyes of Su Qian and the others. After which, a terrifying aura quietly spread from these figures, who had shown themselves. Do Xing. Su Qian, Old Qian and Old Bai felt their head was about to explode as they sensed this terrifying aura, which caused their paws to stand. The people who had come were actually all legendary elite Do Xings. Bang! A black figure flew down from the sky while everyone was feeling quietly shocked. Finally, he landed heavily onto a fighting stage below. Everyone saw that it was surprisingly Han Yu. However, the latter currently appeared to be void of life. Many people quietly swallowed their saliva as they watched the dead Han Yu with a startled expression. From the way that this person could command that elite Do Xing from earlier, his strength should be even stronger than the latter. However, he still ended up dying in such a manner. Ha ha, Su Qian, it seems that you are really suitable to manage the academy. While Su Qian and the rest were involuntarily wiping off their cold sweat, a laughter suddenly resounded in the sky. Immediately, an elderly figure slowly descended and appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Headmaster. Su Qian and the rest were stunned as they looked at the old man walking over with a smiling face. He immediately exclaimed out loud. Hee hee. The person who had arrived was naturally the headmaster of the Jiunan Academy, Mang Qian Kai. He smilingly looked at Su Qian and the others. After which, his eyes swept over the academy and nodded with satisfaction. The size of this place was many times greater than when he had left back then. Let's go down and speak. Mang Qian Kai did not treat himself as an outsider who had been missing for decades. He waved his hand and lifted his head to look at the sky. Finally, he laughed. Young brother Xiao Yang, everyone here is an old acquaintance of yours. Could it be that you are going to hide? Xiao Yang in the sky helplessly shook his head upon hearing this. He led Zun and the few elite Do Xings from the Alliance army and landed in front of the many pairs of eyes present. He cupped his hands together and laughed. First Elder, it has been many years since we have met. How are you? Little fellow, there has been no news from you for so many years. I thought that some accident had happened to you. Su Qian involuntarily laughed as he looked at this face, which was much more matured as compared to over a decade ago. First Elder. Zun who was behind Xiao Yang, curled her mouth slightly into a smile. Her elegant and calm style caused the eyes of the surrounding students to widen. It was likely that one would not be able to find a lady of such quality within the entire academy. Zun Su Qian smiled and nodded after seeing Zun Before he could speak, however, a figure suddenly leaped forward from behind him and collided onto Zun The hands of the figure pulled Zun into a hug, directly embracing the delicate willow-like was it. Your temperament is still the same. Zun was startled upon seeing this. She finally smiled helplessly and said after recognizing that person. He, Zun is really becoming increasing enchanting. However, it seems that you have yet to escape from the demon claws that fellow. Hu Jiu laughingly said as her eyes drifted towards Xiao Yang by the side. Wu Hao by the side also kept his heavy sword. He grinned as he watched this scene. After which, his eyes once again turned towards Xiao Yang. Both of them smiled towards each other. They were unable to forget their friendship from back then even until now. It seems that you really like to be a teacher, huh? Xiao Yang's heart involuntarily felt a fluctuation as he looked at this familiar face. He smiled before immediately turning towards the tall beautiful figure behind Su Qian and involuntarily let out a whistle. This action was something that the usually calm and sturdy Xiao Yang had seldom do. You are finally willing to return. Xiao Yu's face reddened slightly after hearing Xiao Yang's whistle. She glared at him. This manner of Xiao Yang was similar to his younger self back at Wutang City. At that time, Xiao Yang had purposefully done this to greatly anger her. However, at that time, she would feel furious at this teasing action of Xiao Yang. Now, however, she did not resist this kind of teasing. Instead, she even felt some anticipation. Nevertheless, she also understood in her heart that the current Xiao Yang was no longer the naughty child from back then who dared to peep at her bathing. This subordinate greets chief. The middle-aged man from the Xiao Gate by the side suddenly cupped his hands together and cried out with an excited face. You are from the Xiao Gate, right? Xiao Yang smiled after hearing this. He laughed softly. You have done quite well. I have failed in my duty and was unable to protect the Jiunan Academy. The middle-aged man was somewhat at a loss. Xiao Yang was considered a legendary-like existence within the Xiao Gate. He had never thought that he would actually be able to see the real person. It is not your fault. The Xiao Gate is still unable to deal with these enemies. Xiao Yang waved his hand. He was about to speak when a couple of figures rushed over from the distance. Within a couple of flashes, they had appeared beside Cai Lin. They were Cai Lin and some others. All the remaining members of the Hun clan in the other places had also been eliminated. Cai Lin landed. Her cold face revealed a smile as she spoke. Su Qian and the others were a little frightened as they looked at the dozen over people from Xiao Yang's group. They discovered that the strength of these people had actually all reached the Doxing class. This lineup could really frighten one into an idiot. They only laughed bitterly a moment later and asked, what exactly happened? A troublesome matter. Xiao Yang exchanged glances with Mang Tian Kai. His expression became much more serious as he replied. Try to shift the academy and students away as quickly as possible during this period of time. A big matter is about to occur in the Black Corner region, Mang Tian Kai spoke in a deep voice. Honestly speaking, even he had some difficulty accepting Xiao Yang's guess that it was possible for the Chu Shi ancient god mansion to be in the underground magma world. After all, when he had sealed the falling heart flame back then, he had once ventured into the magma world. However, he did not venture too deeply. Who could imagine that he would actually narrowly miss the legendary ancient god mansion? Su Qian's expression changed after seeing the grave expression of Mang Tian Kai and Xiao Yang. He hesitated before speaking. There are so many students. Where can we shift them to with such a short notice? We do not have so many people to escort them to safely leave. Mang Tian Kai frowned tightly upon hearing this. The matter of the students isn't too troublesome. At that time, I can bring all of them to hide in the heavenly tomb. Xiao Yang waved his hand and laughed. As for what had happened, let's head inside and discuss it in detail. Su Qian could only nod his head after hearing Xiao Yang say this. He instructed some elders to calm the students before turning around and walked quickly towards the meeting hall in the academy. Xiao Yang and the others quickly followed, leaving behind a large group of heated eyes. Everyone make some brief introductions within the meeting room before taking their seats. There have already been many factions within the Black Corner region, which had been turned into a bloodbath by the Hall of Soul. However, those fellows have already been eliminated. Xiao Yang looked at everyone before he slowly opened his mouth and said. The face of Su Qian's group involuntarily twitched upon hearing this. Given these people's terrifying strength, it was not impossible to exterminate the entire Black Corner region. The Black Corner region does not have a great enmity with them, does it? Su Qian laughed bitterly. The Hall of Soul was a faction of the Central Plains. There is seldom any interaction between this place and the Central Plains. Hence, they were unable to imagine why the Hall of Soul would do such a thing. Xiao Yang exchanged glances with Mang Tiankai before nodding his head. After which, he opened his mouth and summarized the occurrence on the Central Plains. This also included the current fight between the Alliance and the Han clan. You are really extraordinary. In over a decade, you have actually already reached this level. Su Qian's eyes watched Xiao Yang in surprise. Although Mang Tiankai had only briefly mentioned some matter, Su Qian was still able to sense the soul-stirring incidents that had occurred. Old Qian, Old Bai, Wu Hao and the others involuntarily nodded. When Xiao Yang had left back then, he was merely at the Do Huang class. Now, however, it was likely extremely hard to find any expert in this world who could match Xiao Yang. This achievement really caused one to be amazed. Based on what Headmaster had said, the reason that the Black Corner region has ended up attracting such a disaster is actually because of the magma world under our academy. Old Qian and Old Bai looked at each other before speaking with startled faces. The bottom of the magma might have something that the Han clan required. Mang Tiankai nodded and replied, the Han clan is usually ruthless. In order to successfully obtain what they want, they will kill all life within this Black Corner region. This is not a difficult task for them. The ones who had come this time around are merely the vanguard. Soon, it is likely that the Han clan army will also arrive. At that time, there will definitely be an earth-shaking big battle in this place. These students must not remain here. Xiao Yang said. Su Qian and the others looked at each other and laughed bitterly. It was really a big trouble that had appeared from nowhere. This place was merely quietly teaching students. Who could have expected that it would attract such trouble? Moreover, the source of the trouble was actually the strongest faction on the Do Chi continent. If it is not because all of you had arrived in time, it is likely that blood will really flow like river across the Black Corner region. Su Qian sighed quietly. They had also witnessed the techniques to those fellows from the Han clan earlier. If it was not because Xiao Yang had appeared earlier, a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood would likely have been formed here. First Elder, relax. The Han clan might be powerful, but my alliance army is not afraid of them. We will not allow them to easily destroy the Jiznan Academy. Xiao Yang smiled slightly and comforted. The academy is a small matter. It is fine as long as everyone is all right. Su Qian shook his head. Immediately, his eyes looked towards Xiao Yang. There was a gentle and pleased expression in them as he said, after so many years of experience, that young fellow from back then had finally become a true expert. Xiao Yang will always remember how First Elder has taught me back then. Xiao Yang softly said. His tone was sincere. From a certain point of view, Su Qian could be considered half of his teacher. When the youth had arrived at the academy back then, Su Qian had given him much help in many matters. At that time, Xiao Yang was merely a youth, who had carried some hatred and miserably fled from the Jiunan Academy. Ha ha, since you have come to my academy, it is something that I ought to do. Su Qian waved his hand and laughed. He, this little fellow is currently on equal terms as the clan head. Now that we put it this way, it seems that I am a little superior to him here. Mang Tian Kai by the side laughed strangely. He had already treated Xiao Yang as a monster. The first time they met was at the Empty Realm Lightning Pool. At that time, Xiao Yang was merely at the Dozun class. However, no one could imagine that within a short few years, the latter had already surpassed him the next time they met. This speed caused even him to laugh bitterly and exclaim. After all, the name of the top person amongst the younger generation of the continent was definitely not an empty one. When he thought of how this top person had actually come from the Jiunan Academy, Mang Tian Kai involuntarily felt a joy in his heart. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly. His expression was solemn as he said, "Old Kai, you should pay more attention during this period of time. Once you discover the appearance of any experts from the Han clan, you will issue a warning. The reinforcement of the alliance will gradually hurry over." Xiao Yang Ge. Zana blinked her eyes and said, "I will head to the magma world." Xiao Yang's eyes hardened as he spoke in a deep voice. He must confirm just what strange aspect was present in the magma world below. Su Qian was startled after hearing that Xiao Yang was about to venture deep into the magma world. However, he quickly relaxed the moment he thought of the terrifying strength of the former. Although the magma world was mysterious and unfathomable, it should not be difficult for her to escape unhurt with his strength. Xiao Yang Ge, why don't I go down together with you? Zana knitted her brow and spoke in a somewhat worried manner. If the ancient god mansion was really present below, it would be difficult to predict the danger involved. After all, anything Ado Di left behind would not be simple. There are hardly any of us here. All of you should take care of the academy. Xiao Yang shook his head and smiled. Relax. With his current strength, even if there was really an expert comparable to Han Tiendi at the bottom of the magma, he should be able to escape even if he could not defeat the other party. Zana did not say anything more after seeing Xiao Yang's insistence. She simply nodded gently and voiced some reminders. Let's not delay. I will leave immediately. Xiao Yang was someone who acted with lightning-like speed. Since they had already made their decision, there was no need to waste time. Hence, he directly stood up. Su Qian and the others exchanged glances upon seeing this before nodding slowly. The bottom of the blazing sky Qi refining tower in the inner academy. Xiao Yang stood at the entrance into the magma world. He suddenly beckoned with his hand and many invisible flames suddenly flew out from the blazing sky Qi refining tower, before gathering into a cluster of invisible flame in his hand. Falling heart flame. Ha ha, it has been so many years and it has grown quite a lot. Xiao Yang smiled as he looked at this invisible flame in his hand. This thing was the baby-formed fallen heart flame that he had found within the magma world back then. However, after growing for over a decade, it was clearly much stronger as compared to back then. This little thing had consumed a great amount of our effort. Su Qian laughed. In order to groom this fallen heart flame, they had put in a great amount of hard work during these years. Fortunately, it was all worthwhile. The current blazing sky Qi refining tower was much more effective compared to back then. After all, that matured fallen heart flame from back then would not listen to their orders. On the other hand, this current fallen heart flame did not feel any resistance to their orders due to it being groomed by them over a prolonged period of time. Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. He flicked his finger and sent this fallen heart flame, which was quivering in his hand, flying away. After which, he once again looked at Zana and the others. He said, "Wait for me to return." Be careful. Zana softly instructed after hearing this. Xiao Yang smiled and did not continue to hesitate. His body flashed and turned into a black light, which directly rushed into the magma world through the tunnel below. The magma world was still completely crimson even after so many years. At a glance, one was still unable to see an end to it. Xiao Yang was suspended above the magma. He lifted his hand to look at a dugout cave a short distance below. A smile was revealed on the corner of his mouth. It seemed that he had recalled the bitter days of training he had experienced in this place back then. I have finally returned. However, this time around, I wish to see just what exactly is below. A flash passed through Xiao Yang's eyes as he looked at the sea of magma below. The purifying demonic lotus flame surged out from within his body. Finally, it turned into a fire glow that rushed into the magma with a splash. It stirred waves of magma waves as it entered the magma. Splash! Xiao Yang swiftly ventured deep into the magma after Xiao Yang entered the magma. The surrounding magma would automatically be vaporized when they entered a 5 feet radius around him. With the might of the purifying demonic lotus flame, it was clear that these magma did not have the qualification to pose any obstruction. Xiao Yang's current speed was many times faster compared to back then. Within less than 10 minutes, he had gradually ventured deep into the magma. At the same time, his body had also become much slower. His expression was calm as he watched the surrounding of the magma. It was possible for him to sense that there was quite a lot of obscure auras swiftly approaching him. That kind of magma creature her. Xiao Yang smiled indifferently. His foot gently pressed under him. Immediately, a vast and mighty spiritual fluctuation surged from his brow. In an instant, the surrounding magma was blasted apart. Many figures hidden within the magma suddenly emitted a sharp miserable screech. The magma fluctuation around Xiao Yang became even more intense after these screech sounded. After which, Xiao Yang saw the densely packed bright red figures rushing over from all directions and completely surrounding him. Xiao Yang's eyes swept over these lizard-like magma creatures. Finally, they paused at a spot a short distance away. 2 completely cream-white lizard people were standing there. They appeared much older than the other lizard people. The most surprising thing was that the strength of these 2 lizard people had actually reached the Bansheng class. No wonder Tian Huazunja had ended up dying here back then. There are actually such existences amongst the lizard people. A sudden comprehension rose in Xiao Yang's eyes as he looked at the 2 lizard people. Immediately, he rejoiced slightly. Fortunately, he did not meet these people back then. Otherwise, it was likely that just a slap from these 2 would be able to kill him at that time. Human, this is the tomb of the god. It is not a place where you should venture. Quickly return. Otherwise, you will end up dying here if you awaken its guardian. One of the 2 white lizard people actually began to speak the human tongue, while Xiao Yang was quietly feeling shocked. Although it appeared to be unfamiliar with the language, those words were still transmitted into Xiao Yang's ears. Tomb of the God. Guardian. Xiao Yang's eyes flashed upon hearing these 2 terms. This video will end here.